Good evening, and welcome to the Petersburg By Night podcasting network. Tonight, we present to you our Vampire the Masquerade chronicle, Bloody Strings.
St. Pete by Night Twitch channel, where we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer tabletop role-playing game set in the world of darkness. We play Vampire the Masquerade, Hunter the Reckoning, and Werewolf the Apocalypse. My name is Beara the Bard, and you can find me on all social media as Beara the Bard, and I am one of the junior storytellers here at St. Pete by Night. Make sure to check out St. Pete by Night on all major social media platforms. We're on Twitter, also known as X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. But you should check us out on our website, stpbynight.com. We have a city map, Storyteller, profiles, and our own one-of-a-kind threat meter. If you aren't already a subscriber on Twitch, you should go ahead and hit that follow button and catch up on our past episodes. And if you're interested in playing with us, come join our Discord server and be a part of our amazing community. Today, we are playing Bloody Strings, one of the many chronicles here at St. Pete by Night. So, let's get started and introduce our players. Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Bloody Strings. I am Beara the Bard. I will be the storyteller this evening, and these are my players. Say hello, everyone.
Hello. I am Noree. I'll be playing Bellatrix, the Malkavian masquerading as a sane person.
And I am Kyrie. I'll be playing Grei Novak, Toreador.
Hello, I'm Lekar, and I'm playing the Toreador Matthew Halden.
Hello, I'm Truckexe, and I will be playing the Malkavian with a little bit of serotonin tonight, Nicholas Baldridge.
Thank you very much. Now, last we left off, we were in a little bit of a pickle. Our players are getting ready to perform a heist on a local morgue in order to claim the body that is an absolute masquerade breach, so as to prevent unwanted visitors to the city. They've already done a little bit of plotting and a little bit of preparation, so we'll go ahead and zoom in and open the scene up at your haven. We'll open up in the kind of main room area, and the 4 of you are plotting. Go ahead.
Okay, so does everyone understand the plan?
Yeah, I believe so.
Hit the morgue. Matt, Nick, you can handle getting the security taken care of. Bella, you're going to be on the inside. After that, we need to follow up with the mortician himself, make sure that, or the coroner, and make sure that he's properly dosed, and then we make a few calls and complain about his unprofessional behavior.
I have 2 questions. One, will we have a way to communicate with each other while I am on the inside? And 2, Matthew, may I use that coat that I stole?
Absolutely.
At this point, Bella she has black hair that she has slicked back, wearing very, very natural looking makeup. She is holding a mask, a nose and like an N95 mask. And once Matt slips her the jacket, she will slip it on.
Nick will walk over to her with a USB. Just plug this into a computer that seems to... Well, I think any computer might work, but deeper in the facility, the better, if that makes sense.
So, the main goal would possibly to be plug it into the coroner's computer himself.
That'd probably be the best bet. Make sure it's on, and once it's plugged in, it should auto-write itself in. Basically, install itself. As for communication inside, and he will look at Alex. Do you have anything in that stash of yours? And Beara, does he check the trunk? Would he have any basic communications tools? It'd be anything that's worth two dots of resources can be stored in there.
I'd say you probably are able to like manage like probably like a small earpiece, nothing super hidden, probably like a little Bluetooth like wrap around the ear kind of situation, but
Then he will thank Alex and smile, patting his arm. Here you go, Bella. And hand it over. It's not the best thing in the world, not special ops or anything, but should work.
She'll adjust it. Can you hear me?
Yes, Madam President.
Excellent.
Well, the sooner we get this over with, the sooner I can start looking into that missing girl.
That's true. Let's get this done.
so this is the prep work that we're good to go. Are you traveling in the same vehicle?
Yes, at least Nick will go with Alex and anyone who's coming in the cramped car.
I'll go with it.
There's enough
We'll
space
ride
for
along
everyone,
as
just
well.
it's cramped.
Yes, I think it'd be a safe bet to get all of us in one spot.
So you take all of your stuff and you make your way down to, or up rather, back into the neutral zone and to the sheriff's department. Let's see. This is still the same night from before, so it's getting pretty late. You make your way over. We'll say it's roughly probably in the 2 a.m. area. You make your way up there before getting to the department. You see that there are a couple of cars that are still present, but it is mostly scarce. You do not see the coroner's car, but you see a couple of like squad cars and just 2 more, like a sedan, couple of sedans. As you pull up to the property, are you parking in the area or are you parking elsewhere?
Nick would gesture Alex to park at a distance away, mainly from any outside cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Matt would suggest that.
And Alex has the training to know to do that.
Okay. How do you guys wish to approach this?
I will leave the car and make sure nobody is out and watching. And I will activate Unseen Passage first.
Okay.
Nick would try to find a obviously Wi-Fi can't go out too far, so he's going to look for a space that he can pull out his laptop and have enough connection to the Wi-Fi, or at least some Wi-Fi.
I did not grow hungrier.
Did not grow hungrier. Very good. And you were trying to find a place. There are some places near. There's a few properties nearby that do have Wi-Fi. It's not difficult for you to accomplish. I think the building across the street would likely have Wi-Fi. So yeah, that's not difficult for you to accomplish. Okay. You don't get hungrier. You're now invisible, and you're making your way into the building.
Yes. I will also activate Silence of Death.
You make your way to the door. You can see into the space. It's more dimly lit than it was the night before. But there is still a person, a different woman, sitting at the counter, or the little receptionist desk, but they look very bored. Not a whole lot going on. As you go ahead and give me if you're going to enter the building through the store, go ahead and give me a Dex Assault.
While they're setting up, I'm gonna go ahead and step out of the car, move to where I can have a good vantage point of what's going on outside. Activate heightened senses and just keep an eye on everything that's going on in case we need to make a quick getaway. People need to be informed.
Yeah, Matt will step out of the car and also activate heightened senses, just to keep an eye on things also.
You
I
pop
got
the
2 successes.
You kind of push the door open and quickly slip in. She kind of perks her head up in that direction, but it's already closed by the time that by the time they've turned their head toward you, and they do not spot anything. They kind of sit there for a moment and then go back to what they're doing. So you are in this main room. You have a corridor that goes down a little bit into different areas. There's a staircase that goes downstairs. Matthew is the only one who actually ventured in here before, correct?
Just to make sure, Matthew, would you have given me guidance on where the office was and where you found the body?
Well, I would have pointed out that I didn't actually see the body, but I talked to the coroner and I would have given information on where he was.
Okay.
Okay. In that case, yes, I will make you do your roll. You make your way through. It looks like they're kind of operating on a skeleton crew, and you make your way downstairs to where the coroner is. You do find the office that Matthew advised you of. When you go to approach it, the door is locked.
I will lean against the wall and drop Silence to Death, but keep Unseen Passage up and over the speaker. The door to the corners is locked.
At that. Go ahead. I would like to use. May I try to use premonition to help guide her on a path forward?
Okay. Go ahead and roll for it. If you get six or more successes, I will allow it to be controlled enough to determine what they might be able to do move forward. Otherwise, it's going to be unrelated.
Okay. So, and he did not get hungry. Yeah, no. That's only a 2.
2. You do not see you don't get a vision that gives you any kind of insight toward where it is that they might be able to go next. You kind of get this more or less visions kind of reinforcing the same thing you've already been experiencing. Kind of like weird kind of webbing in an abyss of nothing that just kind of snaps back after a moment.
I see 2 options. 1, I could try to steal the keys from the guard. Or 2, Matthew could guide me through it. I do not have anything to pick locks with, though.
With third option, maybe you can wait there and you can go ahead with part 2. Matt and I head over to Corners and lift the key off him. Get it to you.
Well, there's a problem with that. Suzanne's simply hiding from the cameras.
Well,
Bella, find a computer within the facility. It may not give me the access to the coroner's computer, but it might be able to still get me into the security, which will give us more time.
Okay. Are there any offices around aside from the corners?
Yeah, there's an administrative office. That was upstairs. The downstairs is mostly for like certain storages as well as the morgue. If you wanted to just like, there's an administrative office upstairs.
Okay. I will go up to the administrative office.
So, you make your way up to the office. There is a person in there. Kind of a larger, kind of pale individual. They've kind of hair short, kind of dressed like a mall cop situation, kind of looking over, seated in the area. They don't look like they're paying a whole lot of attention to the space. It looks like they've kind of got a computer in front of them that they can kind of flip through security cameras. But outside of that, they don't seem to be fully aware of the situation. There are a couple of desks in the room that have computers at them, and then there's a office kind of in the back that has the sheriff's name standing outside the door.
I take it that door's closed as well.
That door is closed. Yes.
I will, once I see the security guard, I will reactivate Silence of Death.
Make sure that any speakers of the computer you turn on are disconnected or off.
I will sneak over to try the sheriff's office. Is it locked?
It is not locked. But it is just like a few feet away from the security guard. So you will have to make another roll if you want to try to go in there.
No, I'll head to one of the other computers that he's not using. Is there any of them that are on?
They're kind of like on standby.
Okay. Do they have speakers attached?
Probably in the tower. Like, you can, as you're looking at, these are not impressive computers. It's like the basic Dell, it's not the most impressive hardware.
Nick will send another warning. Also, make sure you don't need the monitor to be on, and that light can turn attention to you.
I do need to double check something real quick. Because, one second.
Matt, do you think you could get inside if you need to? Not sure how Bella's going to get that door open if it comes to it.
Well, if we can at least get the security cameras.
Say if we can get
that
the
does open
cams
up
down,
options.
then yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. If Nick can cut the security feed, I will have no issues getting inside that building. It's just a matter of I'm not as good as sneaking without being seen once I'm inside for other people.
So, a N95 mask should do, and at the very least, as long as I'm not going to be cutting the camera feed, I'm going to be looping it.
Yeah, because if you cut it, if there's security in there, then they're gonna know, and that's just gonna draw attention faster.
Indeed.
So you found a computer. Easy enough to mute. I presume you go ahead and put in the drive.
Yeah. I'm gonna plug the drive in.
So again, this place, not the greatest technology. Pretty much if any of the computers that are in this building will connect to any of the same everything that all the computers are connected to. So you plug in the drive, and Nicholas, pretty quickly, you get the access that you need.
So that includes. Does that include the sheriff and the coroner's computer?
That does.
All right.
Like I said, it's all
Right
just the
on,
same network.
All right, Bella, just hold there for a second, and I will make adjustments, loop the camera feeds, and also gain act. He's gonna steal everything, like that he can, to his laptop. Though he'll do the first thing he's gonna do, loop the security feeds. Second thing, look to make adjustments to the coroner's report, and then once that's done, he's gonna let Matt know and Bella know that the security's taken care of, and then he's gonna start looking at sheriff's reports and coroner's reports.
Yeah, with the success you had on making the little drive, I'm not going to make you roll again. I'll say you managed to accomplish that pretty effectively. You get all the information from the autopsy. You get the pictures that were taken. Actually, I will make you make one roll, but it's not a high difficulty. Give me a wits and tech.
Four successes.
At 4 successes, I'll say that you're not able to access the sheriff's, but you do access the coroner's email. Where you find the email that was sent about to the sheriff to discuss what needs to happen, setting up the meeting, indicating that I think we might have a serial killer or something along that line, or maybe there's some kind of weird cult thing going on, talking about the body modifications in reference to the fangs. You see pictures that were sent, and it's very close up, like the mouth pried open and the teeth very pronounced and being the focus of many of the camera shots. You see a lot of really gory imagery of the mutilated body. Let's see. You see that the coroner got a reply from the sheriff agreeing to a meet. That's about what you got there. You also find some stuff where he's talking about he's really excited because this would be really this discovery of not necessarily like kindred or anything, but just this wild shit going on in this like small little county would be significant for him in regard to his career and things on that line, an interesting study. So there's a level of excitement among some of the notes and things that you found. But outside of that, I think that's about it. You've pretty much removed any of the data and stuff. The only thing that you might be concerned about is you can see that he did send an email with a couple of things to the sheriff's email that you did not get access to.
Well, first thing he's going to do, he's going to muddle the reports, create mistakes, basically try to make it look like it was very poorly made. And he does have some decent skill in medicine to know what, like, a lot about, especially considering that he hunts the dying. So I would say he definitely screws with it, gets rid of the photos, then talks to Matt. Matt, after it's actually good that you're going in. After Bella messes with the body, take new pictures.
Got it.
And then he's gonna talk to Grei. Grei, we have a problem.
Actually, can you alter those pictures? Just kind of like make them blurry?
Yeah.
Just in case I can't get to that. It'll be a backup just in case I can't get new photos.
Then he will quickly use Photoshop and stuff just to fuck around with the pictures, and replace the file names so that it overwrites, and also screw with the date of timing, the file formatting so that it matches the times.
Okay.
All right.
What's the problem?
Well, the sheriff's already seen photos. I couldn't quite reach his email. I was able to get the coroner's, but the sheriff has seen photos. So,
Are we sure that the sheriff has seen them, or have they just...
there was a reply from the sheriff about it. Like, wanting to further discuss things in a meeting. I think I have an idea.
What's your idea?
It's a bit risky, but all we have to do is let there be a bit of a liquid accident on the sheriff's computer.
Just water.
Water, coffee. If there's any coffee around, coffee would be the more believable, I'm betting. I don't know. I don't really care about pigs. But yeah, we're gonna there's a little bit more work to this than we had hoped.
Good idea. Good idea with the coffee. Matt, do you think that's something you can handle while Bella is taking care of the body?
Yeah, shouldn't be a problem at all.
Yes.
It's late. It would be a reason for somebody to have coffee this late in the morning.
Coffee in the computer. Bella, you make the body vanish, and we're done here then, right?
Vanished or disfigured?
Disfigure it. The photos already exist, and if it just vanishes, that'll be far too suspicious.
There are more than
need to
likely going to
discredit
be chemicals near the body or any kind of forensic testing.
May I roll for this, Beara? Because, like, morticians, supplies, things like that would probably be up his wheelhouse.
Okay. And you're trying to determine...
The best way to properly screw up the body.
And I have a specialty in chemistry.
And I have 3 dots. I think I have 3 dots in medicine. Do I have 3 or 2? I have 2.
Give me wits and medicine. And you can add another dot because you have all the photos.
Wits, medicine, senses, ones. That. That is another 4.
Okay. You could probably destroy the fangs to a point that they're not recognizable as fangs, just shattered teeth. That would probably also help in the discrediting and making him look like he's trying to force something in an investigation. You can probably ultimately just destroy them all together. If they're not there, then what are they going to do? Now, you can probably do some things, such as using chemicals to destroy the body, but I would say that it would be a little dangerous to do that, considering that they do have a body, and if that would be obvious sabotage in some capacity. At the same time, do you want to leave the body of a dead kindred in the hands of all of kind?
At this point, while they're contemplating this, I'm going to head down to the morgue.
Sure.
So, once I get to the morgue, I'm actually going to look through the bodies. I'm looking for hers. But I'm also looking for any Jane Does.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, we could also perform a switch.
I'm already on it, thank you. Continue with your text.
Give me a wits or intelligence plus investigation. And
Meanwhile,
Matt, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was about to say Matt's about.
Okay. Matt, you're going in.
Yeah, I was thinking of trying to sneak around the back, having Nick, if he's already looped the cameras, try to sneak in from behind.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to spend a power to reroll.
Okay.
Would Matt be able to help her?
In what way exactly?
I'm just looking for a usable Jane Doe, I suppose.
I think I'd actually have to be in there to help her, if anything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure where you were yet.
I have 2 successes with a possible bestial failure.
And this is to find someone kind of similar, or
Yes. No, just to find a Jane Doe. It doesn't even have to be similar.
okay. Okay. Yeah, you find a Jane Doe.
Okay.
The body that you find is in a cabinet on the far side of the room. When you pop it open, you find somebody who has also had the back of their head caved in. There is no ID or anything, just this Jane Doe. No fangs or anything, but they are dead.
I'd like to use my medicine to determine if they're kindred. Or a cult, possibly.
You do a cult.
Intelligence in a cult?
Sure.
If I may, Beara, I will say that he's also keeping an eye on, any wandering people that could, throw a wrench in our plan.
4 successes.
4 successes. Okay. They were a kindred.
We have a problem. There are 2 kindred bodies here.
Are there just 2, or are we going to come up with a third?
At this point, I will start looking through the rest of them, looking for similar ones. And I'm not going to even try to determine if they're kindred or not. If they've got, half their back of their skull missing, there's going to be a pile
There's just the one.
of body bags. Yes.
Or 2, but yeah.
Okay. There's just 2.
We need to
Matt.
make them vanish. They can't keep,
I do.
regardless
This-
of what we do to hide them. Keeping them is going to be even worse.
I cannot
Matt.
keep them both at the same time. Is there a... What happens to bodies in this morgue that aren't claimed? Are they sent somewhere else to be disposed of? Or is there a incinerator here?
Nick will look
There
through the
is an
files.
incinerator. They don't do it so much here at this facility, but they will take them to a place they have, which Nicholas has that information. There's a business that they operate with that has its incinerator. They'll take bodies to.
Or we can drag them to the
Matt,
roof and leave them for the sun.
We need a way to explain the missing bodies. Matt, how knowledgeable are you about the flammability of the morgue mortician chemicals?
I know certain ones not to mix.
Wait, why are we using chemicals?
It's last resort thinking here, but we probably.
It's a Jane Doe
Worst case
file.
scenario.
Just delete the file.
I was gonna say, just delete the file. Get Richard, make her literally disappear. She has no name. Make her have no body or file.
I'll read the ID off the toe tag.
It's we still gotta explain one missing body.
Let's not explain it. Let's leave it unexplained. Everyone loves a mystery.
Is there any other Jane Does?
Jane,
Actually, no. Actually, have delete the Jane Doe file. Have the other file set that the body was already sent to the company to be incinerated, so it's gone.
Would I be able to do that, Beara? No, that's right. Does the coroner have a notes application on his computer?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Grei, how are you at writing?
It's not my strongest suit, but I could try to do something.
Well, what I'm thinking is we create false entries that show how worried the coroner is about his farce being caught when he's so close to finally getting some recognition. We'll need a couple of extra entries to bolster his desire to do better and also give a sense of dependency on the drugs we decide to leave.
Oh, you don't mean writing, you mean a bit of journaling.
Yes.
That I think I can do.
Say,
We
make a false email, send it so he's communicating with some shady person about things. Make it vague.
Alright, then Nick will work with Grei to quickly as he can type all that up. And in the meantime, alright. So we need to get these two out of there still. Alright. What Nick's finally gonna do is make the photos look. He's gonna make two versions of the photos. One that is labeled original and make that as unkindred as possible, and then the other one and make it look as photoshopped as possible.
What? Why are you making two?
Well, if they look, we have to explain the photos that were sent to the sheriff. So we'll use an email. We'll send the obviously photoshopped ones to this shady email, and use the original photos as a response. Fixed it for you.
So it looks like somebody he sent those said, I want these to look better, and then they respond with these photoshopped images to send.
Okay,
Exactly.
I see what you're saying.
Because-
Okay.
Because I'll preface Beara, like, he's been taking in all of the data, it's like, having backups of everything as they went along. I keep everything open-ended in case they need it, just on his laptop, not on the computer.
Okay.
There are body bags down here, right?
Yeah.
Can I fit two bodies in one body bag?
With enough elbow grease, anything's possible.
All right. And is there a back door?
Well, Matt came in.
That's where Matt is heading towards, if there is.
Sure.
Okay. I know usually a lot of morgues have back areas where
Yeah.
they actually where the bodies are picked up for either funeral homes or things like that. So I
Yeah.
will be dragging the body bag as quietly as I can. Or if I can get it in a like fireman's carry with 2 bodies, I will be heading out that way.
Real quick, Beara, Nick would also be checking to make sure there's no at least digital alarms tied to those doors.
You've got control of security. As long you don't have an issue there.
Okay. Then just make sure everything's running smoothly.
Yep.
As far as these emails go back and forth, I'm gonna concoct a persona of someone this coroner was communicating with, who was trying to, help him advance his career some, help him get a little bit of extra money, potentially show off a find that would dazzle the medical community.
On top of that, Nick's making sure that none of these fake emails have any trace to them. It's complete burners.
Grei. Give me a manipulation and subterfuge. Because you're composing emails, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then composing the responses as well as if I was the coroner responding.
Yeah. Okay.
And can I blood search on this one?
Yes.
Thank you.
At 2, I will. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna be able to like hoist them both over one shoulder and carry them out, but you could probably definitely wheel them out on a table.
Yeah, is there a gurney?
I was gonna say a gurney would probably be your safest bet.
Right. I'll just do a gurney. Make sure the wheels don't squeak.
Sure thing.
Are we placing the drugs here, or are we going to put them?
Well, we have to put them in the coroner's office, and I cannot get in at this time.
So, you take the bodies, put them in a bag, and push them out the back.
Yeah, and then if I pass Matt, I will drop the drugs on the ground.
Okay.
Like right in front of him, just be like, "Go plant those."
So, Matthew, you make your way to the back. Are you communicating that you're carrying these bodies out the back?
Yes.
So, do you
Nick
wish to break in on your own, or do you wish to wait until Bellatrix comes to the door?
I'll wait. It'll just be easier. That way, in case something happens, I don't end up tampering with the.
Okay. So you. Let's see. Are you still obfuscated?
I am, but at this point, I don't think it makes much of a difference because I'm pushing a gurney.
Right.
So I'm probably gonna drop the obfuscate at this point since the cameras are taken care of, and hopefully the guard doesn't see me.
Ghost gurney.
High or low?
Go with high.
There's nobody in your path that you will bump into on the way out. So, you push the door open, exiting the building, allowing Matthew to enter.
At this point, I'll hand off the drugs. Here.
My turn.
Okay. So, before we get to Matthew, what are you doing with the bodies?
Can somebody come pick me up?
I think.
We'll bring the car around.
Can we keep the gurney?
Or should we?
No, we
Should
can't
we-
keep the gurney. Leave the gurney.
Should we
Okay.
utilize Bat's taxi for the delivery of the bodies?
Let's not. I'd rather the rest of whoever the driver is not know that we're moving bodies around. There, I did get 4 successes on this little melodrama cooking up between the coroner and his contact.
Okay. Honestly, you doing like the role is mostly so that you can actually dumb down your language in order to sound more like the coroner. But you do successfully create this little back and forth that looks pretty legitimate. You guys are going to go and pick up Bellatrix and the body. So Matthew, you are now in the back entrance of the morgue.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop in the morgue, see what there is. If there is, yeah, I'm gonna stash some of the drugs in like a cellophane inside, if I can find one of the bodies that are being like sent out, in its mouth. So it looks like he's hiding drugs in the bodies that are being sent out.
Okay.
Ooh, even better, if they're already if there's already incisions in any of them, I'm going to put them in the body, turning them into drug mules.
Okay, hang on a second. Okay. Yeah, you can just take half and that'd be fine. Yeah, no, easy enough.
But I'm going to make it obvious that, I'm going to try to leave kind of like a trail, so if somebody goes, okay, it's just not like random bodies, and I'm not going to search all of them, but I'm going to kind of like leave a breadcrumbs for them to notice these things.
Okay. Yeah. No, that is a hell of a dice pool. Yeah, so yeah, you are good to go. You just very quickly set up very subtle but easily detectable clues to frame this guy for doing just absolutely horrible things to these people post-mortem. So, you have... What would I do now?
Get out.
Like, just going back, or...
Yeah.
Don't forget
the
sheriff's computer. You need to have an accident on that one.
That's true.
Okay, so you guys are just planting drugs. You're not trying to get any in his system.
Seems like the plan has changed. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're pivoting.
Gotcha.
Because he's not there.
Well, we could do that. Yeah, we can do that later. At the moment, we're taking this. But with all this, I do not believe we need to actually mess with the sheriff's computer.
You sure about that? It was your recommendation.
Well, we're pivoting. Also, no offense, Matt, I'm not sure it's a good idea to let more people possibly see you.
Yeah, I can't poof like Bella, so it might be a little trickier for me to get around this place.
And I will say, Beara, once we confirm we're done, initiate a program, wipe all traces, clear the USB, and it looks like it's just a USB that was left waiting to be stored with something.
Okay. You exit the way you came in. And this is all that's getting done? This is the plan?
Do we still make that phone call?
Well,
Tip
we can
someone onto
still
the
go-
coroner?
we can still, I have the coroner's information. We can still go to the coroner, get a little bit of drugs in his system, or we can go with the routes that he's dealing drugs instead.
He's dealing them. I think having him on them could be a little more difficult.
Yeah.
He's wise enough not to be dipping into his own supply. Actually dealing them. Maybe we don't go down that road, but we do still make the call in order to start the incrimination.
I agree. But let's let Alex carefully drive us somewhere where the bodies will not be a problem.
Just take them to Elysium.
That's what I was thinking, yes. But we gotta get there.
I have rolled just kind of like a general investigation for the police department. They needed 6 successes out of a dice pool of 7. I rolled 2. So they are completely oblivious as to your manipulation for this evening. So, not being said that there's not something that will be looked into later, but your involvement for the evening itself, nothing ties back to you.
St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaborations with our partnered vendors: Wolfpack Dice, Ember Fox Dice, Dragon Ink Dice, Beara the Bard, Champs Tramps, Panchi Artista, and Chromatic Creations US. Links to our partnered vendors, as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels, can be found on our website, stpetbynight.com. The official theme song for St. Petersburg by Night is Vampire by Faith and Failure. You can find them at faithandfailure.com. You can follow SPbN on all socials with the hashtag StPeteByNight. If you wish to support our program, you can do so at ko-fi.com/StPeteByNight to help keep the stories rolling.
That went rather smoothly. You guys make your way to the Dolly. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Okay. Please give me what's an awareness on arrival.
Just a plain wits and awareness, or would instincts come in?
Sure, instincts come in.
Four successes.
Okay.
3 successes with a possible bestial failure.
3 for me.
7 with a crit, and I picture.
Okay. On 3 and above, you guys notice that you're not greeted by any guards on arrival, as you have the last couple of times. That was a 7 crit.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, you spot up in kind of toward the entrance what appears to be something red against glass, smeared over a window of the entryway.
So something smeared on the glass?
Where are the guards?
That's weird.
Hold on. He's so we're still in the car seeing this, or did we get out?
Like the threshold of where you're like getting out of the car and making your way toward the point where you guys would be stopped and checked out by Elysium guards. No one comes to see you. You're on the property. You can see the entrance, and you see red smeared over the window.
Nick's gonna hold his hand out. It's like something very bad is going on. There's a red smear over the window. Oh, fuck. I can't.
I'm going to activate heightened senses. See if I can hear or
Nick's going to activate Sense the Unseen. Oops, sorry.
I'll also activate
Kyrie,
Sense the Unseen.
And heightened senses for me as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to continue further in.
You get closer to the entrance where the red is smeared, and on a closer inspection, you can see that there's blood on the door. And it looks like somebody took a finger and wrote out the words, "Playtime!" exclamation point.
Oh, fuck.
You don't happen to have a towel in that trunk, do you?
I have a lot of things in the trunk, but I don't think there's enough towels to cover this.
There's the door for now. Open the door and see what's on the inside. Step in.
You step in, and the door goes open, and you feel it catch, like right as it gets around like 80 degrees ajar. And when you turn to look, the door catches on an Elysium guard laying dead on the ground.
I'm staying with the bodies.
Nick is immediately going through the channels to send a message to the sheriff. Elysium guards are dead. Someone has breached the dolly.
You have no data, or no bars here at the current moment.
Just step over the body and inside. See if I can see or hear anyone. If there's someone hiding with obfuscate, I'm gonna try to pierce it with my auspex.
Okay. As you kind of step into the space, look down a little bit, you see there's a couple more bodies. Most of which don't seem to show any kind of sign of defense. They didn't see it coming. As you're kind of looking around, you hear an intercom kind of kick on. It's time to play! And we'll take a quick... Thank you very much for watching so far. We will see you all when we come back in just a few minutes. And welcome back. So, last week, coming back from the break, Grei has entered the Dolly Museum, where he has found a few Elysium Guard bodies and has been immediately taunted by Benjamin and Fanny. Everyone else is still at the car, so I'm going to... Grei, high or low?
Could be high.
Okay. We will start with the car. What are you guys doing?
Nick's going to turn to everyone, get the bodies out now, and he's turning to Alex. As soon as the bodies are gone, get away, reach the sheriff, get a message to the sheriff. Elysium, there has been an attack at Elysium.
Where are we supposed to put the bodies?
He points at the threshold. As long as it's inside the dolly at the moment.
That does not seem very wise.
Would you rather him be driving around with kindred bodies?
We are already doing that. If you go to the sheriff's office, there will be a secure place that's not been compromised.
True point.
Out of character, it's because I didn't know there was a sheriff's office. I kind of forgot that fact. All right, then, if I may, Beara, amendment, take him to the sheriff's office. Use your phone to communicate. I will not have signal here. Go.
I'm going to climb out of the car.
Okay.
Nick will get out as well.
As will I.
Oh, so Nick's going to at least give a quick perusal of the car because they're dealing with a Nosferatu, and he has Sense the Unseen up.
You don't spot anything.
Okay. And he will turn and walk towards Grei.
So everybody's heading into the building now?
Yeah.
Okay. Grei, before they head in there, you just stepped in and found these bodies. You heard Benjamin over the phone, or the intercom. What do you wish to do?
How well do I know the layout of the dolly? I haven't been here long, so I don't believe I would know much about it.
Probably not in great detail. I'm sure you've been there probably a couple times, a few times at least, but not like you know any like the administrative side of it or anything very much. You know the path that it takes to get to the keeper's office, things like that.
I will start heading as if I was headed to the keeper's office. Along the way there, Ben, if you can hear me, this can't end well for you. I'm telling you. This won't be overlooked. Everything else you've done up until now, we could have done something about, but this, crossing a line.
Nothing matters, Mr. Novak.
Not true. It is true that nothing ultimately matters, but that means you get to decide what matters. It's important.
And I have. And it must be found.
Try to follow his voice.
It's coming over the intercom. And reply.
See if I can I activate heightened senses and listen for the unbroadcast voice, whichever room it's coming from.
I will let you do that. You can do... You can give me a wits and awareness. I will say that's going to be a bit of a higher difficulty. If you manage to get 4 successes, I'll give you a general direction.
And if I can I blood search on this roll?
Sure. If you manage to get 7, I'll tell you where he's at.
Fantastic. Seven. Exactly.
My headset fell off. Sorry. Fantastic. Okay. It sounds like he's coming from the keeper's office.
Continue the way I was going. Don't alter my steps. As if he somehow has eyes on me, I'm gonna walk as if I was intending to go that way. Just won't change anything. Don't let him know that I've noticed anything.
So continuing on the path you were actively going on, or
yeah, towards the keeper's towards the keeper's office.
At this point, you guys step into the building. You guys rolled pretty well before. I'll go ahead and just let that ride for this one. You guys spot Grei following the path. You see the bodies, and you see Grei moving. And it seems like he's heading toward the keeper's offices. Along the same path you guys would follow to get here before.
I will keep Sense the Unseen up, but I will hurry to catch up with Grei.
Okay. What are you two doing? Nicholas and Matthew.
I told him that they needed to work on their security. And he's gonna try to keep up, to catch up, to figure out, see Grei.
To be fair, Matthew, you told us. You didn't actually tell them.
Fair.
Nick's going to pull out his coin, looking around. He's going to stay a bit behind. He's just looking around, idly following him.
How far back are you staying?
Say about 6 to 8 feet.
Okay.
As we're walking, I'm going to position myself with my back against the wall. Kind of just creeping along on the side. I will try to get Grei to push his back against the wall as well.
I'm not creeping.
This isn't about creeping. He can creep up with you, and he's been hitting people from behind the head.
If he wanted to kill us, he would have done it already.
This is a trap.
Obviously. The only way to find out what he wants is to spring it.
Want some with Grei.
You continue making your way to the office. You find a couple more bodies along the way.
No kindred? I keep glancing at them as I'll pass.
So far, just the kind guards. You get to the door that goes into the keeper's room.
We'll reach down and open it. Just try it, see if it's locked first.
It is not locked.
Turn the handle. Push it in.
You push the door open. Immediately, you see Keeper Edwin Kane. He has been staked. He has been flayed in several areas. His clothes ripped to shreds. Several scarred and crude writing across the chest, carved in, says fraud. It looks like he's been cracked across the head a few times, and he is not able to move. Standing behind him, you do see Benjamin. There's a bookshelf behind him that seems to be open ajar, and there's a lot of files and books that have been tossed about the room. He has one hand put on Edwin's shoulder, and the other one seems like it's grasping something, but there's nothing there. Anyone who has Sense the Unseen,
I'm pretty sure that's all of us at this point in time.
of course you don't want to load. There we go. Go ahead and give me your what's and aspects.
Six straight.
Three successes.
3 for me as well.
Three here.
Okay. What was your highest success?
6.
You do not see what he's holding on to. But you do clock that he's holding on to something. Don't want things to go south now, do we?
No, Ben, we don't. Look, Edwin told us that he had history with you. Or that you had history with him. We're new here. We don't know your history. We don't know what you're looking for, why, or even how we could possibly help you. This is not helping you. Gesture to Edwin. This, gesture to the Dali, is not helping you.
Oh. Mr. Novak, but it has. I found exactly what I needed here.
You may have in the short run, but in the long term, this doesn't work. You'll make enemies. We can't afford enemies. Not amongst each other. Not like this.
I already have enemies. I just needed a name.
Do you want to share it?
I feel I've shared too much already.
I don't think you've shared enough. There's so little about you that we understand or that we even know. I'm going to try to play into his sense of importance and try to get him talking about himself and get him monologuing.
Give me manipulation and subterfuge. You can use your specialty.
I will assist.
Okay.
While he's doing that, is there anything that can be gleaned from the way he's holding the unseen object?
So it's kind of like he's grabbing on something like this. It looks like he might be holding some kind of either pulling down or letting go, maybe, will trigger something. You just can't see where it's connected or what it's connected to. But it looks like he's holding something. He has probably set something up at the door you're standing at.
Five successes. Critical.
5 successes?
With critical, yeah.
He sits there for a moment. There's nothing, Mr. Novak, that you need to understand. This is between me and someone else. This is... well, revenge. I'm sure you understand.
I do. I do understand revenge. I also understand that I'm going to have to explain this. I'm going to have to explain this in a way that the revenge doesn't come land on you again. I want to help you, and to do whatever I can to help you.
What happens to me after doesn't matter.
But it does. You're important. You're more important than you know.
And how is that? You don't even know me.
I don't need to. You're one of us.
I've killed many of us.
You wouldn't be the only one.
What is everybody else doing?
Currently, I'm listening and letting Grei talk to see if Grei can talk him down, since can't quite see what he's holding, and I'm not hiding, so I don't want to make sudden moves because he seems to be threatening with something.
Matt's gonna try to just see if he can glean anything in the vicinity of where they're standing. Like, there's anything rigged or anything nearby them.
Nick is standing at, like, between the door frame. Like, the door and frame space right there. And he is between absolutely staring murder at Ben. Holding a lit cigarette and looking up. And then looking back down. And occasionally blowing smoke up against the door frame. And taking a look.
So you're just kind of watching him.
Watching him and seeing what the smoke does. While also blocking the door frame and, really wanting to say something and holding himself back.
Nicholas and Matthew, give me a wits and awareness. Or investigation, whichever works for you. Bellatrix, you can as well if you would like.
Okay. Instincts are just straight.
Sure.
I'm spending a willpower.
Yeah, I'm going to as well.
Three.
Same.
So you guys got threes?
Hold on. 7 with a crit.
I
Okay.
got 3.
That was a
three
good crit fish.
was enough. So as you are kind of looking, you see the smoke kind of go out. There's nothing above you guys. But what you do clock is that a little bit of smoke seems to capture something almost moving around, something that seems to be by Edwin. And on a closer inspection, you see there's a couple little cuts on the sides of the neck. And you can see that blood is pooling against what seems to be nothing, pulling back a little bit. There is something obfuscated that is wrapped around Edwin's head.
Is it the keeper? It's you. Can't help but notice how you've treated him quite unlike everyone else during the quest.
No. Dear Mr. Kane here is just a coward.
Surely the fate of a coward isn't to die.
No, the possibility of his death is entirely on you.
Well, what do I need to do in order to make sure that you release Mr. Kane into my custody?
He reaches down and grabs a pretty thick file off of Edwin's desk and lifts it with his free hand. You let me walk out with this. And go on my merry way.
Would you be willing to tell me what it is?
What do you think it is, Mr. Novak?
Could be any number of things.
Names.
I wish you read, like using insight, like read his emotional state at this point.
Give me what's an insight?
Five successes.
You can tell that there is some... It's like there's some kind of level of anxiety that is present, but it's not so much... It's not so much that he is afraid of the outcome here as much as he's concerned about you stopping him from what he needs to do. But you can also tell there's a little bit of confidence. He's pretty sure you're not going to stop him and sacrifice the keeper. He feels, you can tell that he seems pretty confident in the card in his hand. The card's in his hand.
Does this have to do with the sewers where you were found?
Where I was left. More specifically.
Those names are those who left you. Just trying to understand.
The ones old enough to possibly be the ones who did it. Do we have a deal?
You're asking me to trade the folder of names for the keeper, Mr. Kane.
The folder of names comes with me regardless. It's a matter of whether or not you'll try to stop me. Or let me by. Unhindered.
I'm sorry you were abandoned. I was abandoned too. When I needed someone. Doesn't mean you have to get vengeance.
My mind is gone. This isn't some daddy left me. No, this is... I've lost everything. And so should they.
You've left a lot of bodies behind you.
I've only just started.
You don't have to make it more. I'm giving you an option there. If this is really revenge, this is really vengeance that you want, there are ways to extract it. It don't require all of this drama.
Such lovely words.
Do you think you can't recover? You're not us. Even maybe with us we could recover. But do you think you can't recover? And you think killing them will make it better? It doesn't.
It just gets worse. Every day, I lose something, and I gain something. I don't know how much I have left to lose. The hunger grows by the day. I don't have much time. They have to die.
Well, then that file's pretty thick. And if you don't have much time, you're never going to finish it.
Then I'll get through what I can. Are you going to let me pass or not?
I'm trying to offer you an arrangement. An accomplice, even.
That's rich. Coming from the compulsive liar. Oh, Mr. Kane here has quite a bit of information.
You continue to lose yourself. You're going to leave over half of that undone then. If you're okay with that, you're okay with not actually getting your vengeance and dying as a result, I don't know what I can tell you. But if there's an opportunity to put you back together, that man right there, the one that you are threatening the life of currently, is probably your one best shot.
I don't think so.
Even when he said he was concerned about you.
Concerned about me.
Yes.
Right.
Concerned about what happened to you, where you went. Did you actually talk to him, Ben? Did you just string him out?
What I needed didn't come from his mouth. What I needed was the files in that back room. Mr. Keeper here wasn't going to share them.
Did you ask with vinegar? Did you ask with honey?
You're stalling.
No, you can go.
So we have a deal then.
I didn't say that. But you know you could leave at any time. You've avoided us all this time. You've been able to penetrate Elysium.
Yes, but you all have, in both times that I've actually personally encountered you, spotted me with little to no issue.
Who would you want us to, Ben? You want us to be you. You want us to know you. Before you're completely gone, so that something of you remains, even if it's in us. You're the one letting us find you. You're the one who wants us to stop you.
That's where you're
At this point, I'm
Yeah.
going to use awe and start to convince him that he wants this to happen.
Okay.
Sounds to me like it's a bit of a cry for help with the bodies you've left behind. You stopped hiding them. You knew they'd eventually be found. Do you really want to die?
Okay, go ahead and give me manipulation of presence. He kind of, when you say that, Bellatrix, he kind of sits there. I don't think you fully grasp the situation. I'm already dying. Before long, I'll be a snarling rat. Scrounging for blood. I've already lost much of who I am. I'd like to kill the one responsible before I'm completely gone. And that
Have
is
you
what
asked
I'm
for
going
help?
to do.
Have you asked for help?
Who's going to help me betray your Camarilla friends? Because I do know it was the Camarilla now. I was never affiliated with the sect. I have no protections. But my assailant does. So no, I won't be sharing that information.
Two successes with a possible bestial failure.
Not his greatest pool. Alright, let's see here. Two successes. You pop off. And he's still holding on to whatever he's holding on to, but there does seem to be a bit of... his focus seems to go toward you. Like, he still kind of pops his eyes around to everyone else, but it's like he cannot keep them from zoning back on you.
You wanted us to find you. You came to me after we found you, and you talked to me. You know you want us to stop you, because you know this isn't you. This hunger isn't you.
I am no longer. Why don't you understand that?
You think I don't? I know what it's like to not have anything. To have to put yourself back together from nothing. To have to build yourself brick by brick. And I also know what it's like to have those bricks torn down. Piece by piece. Don't obliterate yourself.
She did that to me.
You're finishing the job. You continue down this path.
Give me another manipulation subterfuge. What's everybody else doing?
I will assist him with the subterfuge.
Three successes. Take the file, leave the keeper. But don't destroy yourself from this. We have a deal. I won't stop you.
He looks at the rest of you.
I will step back.
Nick stays in the doorway, glaring at him.
Just remember there's more than one path back. And if the only one you can see right now leads you to destruction, listen to the people who are telling you different. There's a part of you that wants it.
He takes the holder, puts it in his vest. Looks at Grei again for a moment, and then looks over at Nicholas. Is the little white knight gonna get out of my way?
Is she still alive?
Well, I only just got the folder, so... Yes.
Not whoever's in the folder. Child.
Oh, I see you've been there already. They're alive.
That changes.
But noted.
Ben. That changes, Ben. I don't care what forces are against me. I will haunt whatever you have. And I will make sure your revenge goes unsatisfied. That's my deal. And he will move with enough room for him to easily clear the doorway.
Well, then I suppose you just stay out of my way. And he walks past you. You have until I get to the front of the building to disable the device. Once my thumb comes off the button, it'll be a little messy. And he begins walking. The obfuscate drops. You see that he has very saw-like. There is a device that's designed to sever Edwin's head when he releases the button.
Matthew.
On it.
Turn immediately to Matt. like I'm at a loss on
As soon as
this
he
part.
sees it, he's heading towards it.
Nick's going to pop premonition.
Okay.
To try to help guide him. Not hungry. Keep using that blood back. with an aspect.
Okay. So first, Matt, give me a do wits and investigation on the device itself. And what are you? You're doing premonition.
Yes.
You said wits and investigation.
You already rolled your resolve and aspects.
Not yet. 3
So-
successes.
3 for that.
Okay. And how much for the premonition?
3. Should have used my wits and investigation to help instead.
So yeah, Matt, as you're investigating it, you do believe that you have found a means to kind of break the sensor that would register that something has triggered it, break the trigger. You can do... Why not? Yeah, you can do Dex and Larceny. You will need 6 successes to be able to stop the thing entirely. We'll come back to the premonition.
Rolling a willpower.
Mhm.
And that's 6.
Nicholas, as you are kind of watching, as he's kind of messing with everything, as he gets to the final stage, he gets access to the point that he needs. Suddenly, your premonition pops. You see, almost as if you're watching through Benjamin. He stops. You see the head tilt. He looks over at the door. He then holds his hand out in front of you and tosses the remote before making his way to the exit. And then you get popped back. In that moment, you kind of call out, and at the last second, the trigger begins to... and then he shuts it off.
The motherfucker so much.
Why? He is weak. You're infinitely stronger than him because you put up with what he cannot stand for a lifetime, or an unlife, if you wish. He is weak.
Good job, Matthew.
I suppose we shall wait for the sheriffs or deputies to arrive.
We should probably remove that stake.
Yes, it's a little unbecoming to leave the keeper with a piece of wood in his chest.
And yeah, Matt's gonna pull it.
Okay.
Well, hopefully he's not too hungry.
You pull the stake from Edwin's chest. Oh, excuse me just a moment. Alright, where were we?
Pulled the stake.
Yes. You pull the stake from Edwin. He kind of pops up and then falls back. He kind of sits there for a moment. He sits back up in his desk.
couldn't stop him.
We got an inkling, though.
We saved you, though.
Yes, you did.
Who is he after?
No one caught him coming in. He came in, he immediately took out a handful of my guard. Before I even knew anything was going on, he was already in my office, demanding the information that the prince has on the Malkavians within the city. I refused. I tried to, well, much like Mr. Novak, I tried to see if I could figure out something that... I tried to appeal to a sense of need from them, to try to see if I can get him to give me any information or maybe back down, but he very quickly... I don't know when he did it, but he managed to, he reaches down behind the desk and he pulls out this device that you use for like quickly putting down like a cow. Looks like it's been refitted to, instead of the iron spike that would normally go through, it looks like it's designed for punching in a stake, letting it go and releasing it. He had, I don't know when he got that from me, but he used it on me. He then went down into my record vault. He was down there for about an hour. When he came back, he poured through some files. When he got to the one that he did find, did a lot of rambling, but he decided that I was a fraud and began cutting me up. After a little while, he fastened that device around my head, and he continued reading until he caught Grei on camera. There aren't a grand volume of people who could be that are Camarilla, as well as within the frame of the power frame of what we have here. The structure is what I mean. Thank you. The structure, there's nobody who really could kind of fit that except for a couple. If I were to wager, right. I don't think it's possible, but I think he is convinced at the moment that maybe Primogen Charlie is the one who has affected him.
And if you don't think it's possible, then who do you think could?
The Primogen is very impressive, very talented. She and I have worked together on a couple of different things. She even subdued a mage. But he is much older than Charlie. And as far as I am aware, he is, according to my information, he's been down under the city for longer than most of the Malkavians have been kindred in the city. If I were to wager a guess, I imagine that whoever was affected him would have had to have been before the Exodus, and probably is somebody from across the pond, or the bay, so to speak. It's likely someone in Tampa. But he's convinced that it's somebody here in St. Petersburg.
Well, what about Tampa? What do they have to say in all this? We talked to them.
We don't really have much in the way of open correspondence. They're Prince is
Still a
too
little
pleased.
butthurt about the praxis.
Usually, that seems to have been our experience in the last couple years.
Well, they should get over it.
Agreed.
It's already been several years.
I agree. But he's not killing anyone over there. And I don't think they give a shit as long as it stays over here.
Who's older than Charlie?
Charlie wasn't St. Petersburg's first oracle, but no one's seen her in quite some time. There's the Mr. Hodges fellow, but he may be older, but he's not. He's new to St. Petersburg. He's not from here. He only showed up. My reports have him showing up during a party last year. And he's convinced it's Camarilla, so any other significant kindred in the area. He might be looking for someone who's not here anymore. Maybe already dead. Then again, he does seem like he's completely lost his mind. Maybe he has no concept of the time. If it was Charlie, then he can't discern any kind of reality from fact. Any fiction from fact.
Need to come up with some sort of countermeasure.
Well, first things first, the Primogen needs to be made aware.
Yes.
I will send word out so that she can go to ground. Maybe bulk up her security.
The same needs to be done for the Dali. If it could be infiltrated this easily, this is not safe.
I will take care of the dollar. This is my responsibility.
I believe Matthew had some suggestions or security holes that he could possibly provide for you to help you.
I could assist with that if you'd prefer.
I may take you up on that. But for now, I need to focus on cleaning.
Oh, absolutely.
The cell jamming, is that a Dali, the defense measure of the Dali, or was that Ben?
It was Ben, but it is a defense mechanism here at the Dolly. It's something that I can trigger remotely from my office in case I feel like there's a Masquerade-breaking event that could take place here.
Well, he did. However, I sent Alex and the bodies to the sheriff.
He turns to his computer, which his computer is absolutely a box computer. It looks like something from early 2000 as he begins kind of messing with it for a moment.
Sheriff's office should be cleaned up. There were 2, not 1, but both bodies have been recovered.
Excellent.
It is likely that there'll be a new coroner in the future.
Well,
Nothing so gauche as killing them. Some professional mishaps.
some things
Well,
can't
we-
be helped.
Mm.
Very well. Yes, I will look into trying to make sure anything that does spring from that doesn't. If what you said is correct, then we shouldn't have any concern about a third party poking their nose where we don't want it. As stated before, I will discuss terms with the prince, but you will be rewarded for taking care of that little mess. Charlie's been reached out to.
He wants to be stopped. I'm convinced of that. A kindred with his skill in remaining unseen wouldn't allow us to run into him multiple times if he didn't want it at some level.
I'm going to do something here I technically am not supposed to. And your discretion would be appreciated. I do already owe you a favor.
You'll always have my discretion, Keeper.
I can keep secrets.
I'm going to give you a location. I was supposed to have had the place demolished about 6 months ago. I opted to not do so. It is what we suspect to have been Benjamin's former haven before we had an incursion of Thin Bloods take root there. For the possible information that could have been there, I decided to leave it there. However, with previous issues that arose in our city, I never had the opportunity to go look into it. But he may be operating out of there, or at the very least, there might be something that you can find there that might be able to provide you some assistance. I will also be sending an agent of mine, so to speak, to kind of help if need be. A little muscle, if you think that would be helpful to you.
Yes, it would be very helpful.
Very well. He will meet you at the entrance that he is the one who initially, he was among the party that initially found this particular area. His name is Kahil Maktir. He'll meet you at the entrance, and he gives you the entrance of a water main that goes into the sewers. With like a crudely estimated map of how to get to that particular haven, where it looks like there's a breach within the walls of the sewer itself. The water main is along the western coast of the Cambria territory, kind of getting up close to where the going into the neutral zone. I will focus on cleaning things up here and bolstering security. What I am going to do here is I'm going to ask you to destroy Benjamin. I am giving you the permission to do so. However, I am not the prince. I do not have the capacity to grant right of destruction. He cannot kill the Oracle. He needs to stop. He needs to be stopped. And he seems to have taken an interest in your group in some capacity. And since you all have already been on this, I trust you to take care of the job. And I will make sure that that does not come to bite you in the ass. Does this seem fair?
Yes.
Grei will kind of stare into the middle distance, focusing on something past the keeper. Just slightly shake his head no.
You refuse.
Not all rights to destroy.
I suppose if you can successfully apprehend him, then that's great. And as much as I appreciate Matthew's offer to bolster security here, I have gone through great pains to be able to spot certain things here, and he danced by all of them. Bellatrix, you're right. He is physically weak. But he does seem to be a little clever. He might be manic. But he still has his wits about him. If you can get him into a position where you can apprehend him, then great. But he cannot kill the Oracle.
Grei will kind of focus back on Edwin. That device that you have, the one with the stake, how does it work? Do you have another?
It's essentially, you load it, point, press, and pull the trigger. It punches through with enough force to go through a cow's skull. More than enough to get through the chest of a kindred. And then it releases the stake and pulls back, waiting to be loaded again.
Do you have another one?
No.
That I could use.
But he takes the stake that was used on him, reloads it back into the device, and he slides it across the table.
Lay my hand on it. Slide it over to me.
I will be wanting that back.
I'll be returning it to you. But if We can avoid destruction. I would prefer that.
If you can't avoid it, fine. But if it turns into a situation where you cannot stop him before he will kill the Oracle, I need you to not hesitate. But you're the one out there. It's ultimately up to you. I have to clean up this mess. Is there anything else?
No.
He kind of pulls his clothing back to as close as he can manage it before putting on his coat. Very well. I'll be here when the sheriff arrives. I'll fill him in. I would recommend you all have done a lot tonight. He goes over to a cabinet that when he opens it, you see where the cold air meets the warm air. There's a little bit of like steam, not steam, but just fog rather, as he pulls out 4 blood bags and hands you each one. I tend to keep some around. That's all I really have to offer at the moment, but might help with a little bit. I suggest getting some rest. Going out there tomorrow. That's when I'll have him out there waiting for you.
I have some personal affairs to attend to anyway.
Very well. So that you don't get tied up here tonight, go on. And I'll go and do some cleaning.
Margaret James's body may still have something of him. She fought him before he took her down, so did not get a chance to examine it.
Yes, you're right. Bring me to the bodies, actually.
They're with the sheriff. I didn't trust Tyr was compromised.
Oh, you guys waited till the sheriff got there to walk away from the car?
No. I'm telling him they're with the sheriff.
Alex took
We sent the
Or
bodies
sheriff.
and Alex to the sheriff.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, never mind then. That's good. I'll speak to the sheriff and have him bring that body with me. The Tremere might, I'll bring the body over to the Chantry, see if they can do anything with that. Very well then. I guess enjoy whatever's left of your evening. But I don't mean to be rude, but I'm going to ask you to go ahead and leave. I have a lot of work to do now.
Harry will get up immediately and make his way to the door.
I'll turn it back
We'll
out.
do the same.
Does any, what did you do with the contraption? Did you leave it with that one?
The saw contraption that was around his head?
Yeah.
I'm not taking that.
Yeah, I'm not taking it.
Okay. So you guys make it outside.
They won't take it in.
Okay. You guys make it outside. What do you wish to do?
I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I put up so many airs in front of the damn keeper that I feel myself just evaporating. I need to go see some people. Need some me time. I don't know about the rest of you. And Matt, you should take a look at the Junker Bay Times.
Is that
Art section.
Ooh.
I need to go see my people. I bid you all good evening and a wonderful sleep. And May Ben not haunt our dreams.
Could it mean he was physically weak?
Grei will turn and walk down the street, pull out his phone,
Right.
stop. What? Nick, what?
If it comes down to it, exactly what I'll do.
Turn around.
Killer, yes.
No, I don't.
Go have your time. Nick will just shake his head and turn away.
Keep walking.
Matt is going to go on his phone and look for offices within the Coterie domain that he can acquire, because he definitely has an idea now. And then he's going to check out Tampa Bay Times and smile.
You find a very beautiful painting.
I need it.
Okay.
Bella's just gonna walk home. We're not. It's like literally up the street.
So, Bellatrix is going home. Matthew, you were looking into. You went and looked at the art. You are trying to accomplish what again?
He wants to buy, or he wants to go start the process of buying an office in the domain.
Okay.
For something.
Fair enough. Okay. Nicholas, are you just going home, or?
Nick's gonna wait for Alex to come back. Probably just try to decompress with his friend.
Okay. Great.
So I'm gonna call Victoria. Hopefully she's not gonna sleep for too long. I know it's late.
High or low?
I'll go with high.
The phone rings a few times.
Pick up. Please pick up.
What's going on? Why are you
Vicky.
calling me so early?
Baby, I need a ride. I need to see you. Badly.
What's going on?
It's been a very long evening. I'm stranded downtown. I don't have a ride, and I think my wallet's been lost. Could you come pick me up? I'm not too far from the Dali.
Okay, yeah. Let me get dressed. I'll be there in a few.
I'll be waiting. It's honestly, just drive by the Dali. You'll see me. Impossible to miss.
Always are. And she gets off the phone with you. After about 20 minutes, car pulls up. Didn't get like she very kind of relaxed, where hair's kind of pulled back. What do you need? What's
You want company? I want company. How are you feeling about company?
Company doesn't
I'll
sound
tell
too
you.
bad.
I'll tell you all about my evening and how horrible it's been, and all of the running around that I had to do, and the fact that I lost my wallet. And I saw a body earlier.
A body.
Strangest thing. Yes. The police are dealing with it now, of course, but it was nightmarish. Blood everywhere. It was. I thought this town was going to be a bit safer than it seems to be.
Oh. Nowhere's really safe, dear. Now. And she begins driving.
I will spin the ride back, telling her a tale that is half truths about what happened this evening. In some ways, Grei venting, but still keeping everything close to the chest and making sure not to reveal too much.
Yeah. She's listening, but you can tell it's kind of like mostly just kind of being present. Mostly just trying to get to where y'all need to go. Kind of a lot of like comforting, but almost very what's the word I'm looking for? Not cold. Like you can tell that there is a level of like there she's understanding what you're saying for the most part, but it's also tired and kind of interested in seeing where the night goes.
I will switch gears as we get closer to her place, telling her all about this wonderful art gallery that's opened up. Bula Barua's art gallery. There's this piece there by Sylvia Delano. It is this gorgeous woman adorned with roses. You have to see it. Do you have a copy of the Times at the house?
Yes.
You absolutely have to see it, and I need to ask you a favor as we get to her place. Lean over and kind of, pull her face closer to mine. I need you to buy it for me.
You want me to buy this painting?
I'm going to be unavailable for a few days, and I'm not going to be able to attend the sale. You know I'm good for it. Give her a kiss.
Okay, give me manipulation and persuasion. You can use your specialty.
Three successes.
After a moment when you guys pull back, she kind of... God, I can't say no to you. Fine. I will pick up this painting. Where do you want me to take it?
I think I'll have just the place. I have a friend of mine who has a storage facility. I'll clear it with him. But in the meantime, you can't say no to me. And you can't say no to the rest this evening, yes?
Oh no, you will be starting making up for it now. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Hold my wrists out like, cuff me.
Thank you all very much for tagging along on this little adventure, and thank all of my lovely players here for being here tonight. We will see you in the next chapter and see what happens.
This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production. Bloody Strings is produced in agreement with the World of Darkness and Dark Pack. The storyteller for Bloody Strings is Beara. Tonight's characters were voiced by Noree, Kyrie, Lekar, and Truckexe. Visit our website at stpbynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become a part of our community. Thank you for listening. Until next time, fangs, stakes, and claws out.